Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got half the Coco crew here holding it down live. Here's truly sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here shaking the room live from the RBA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me way down there in the dirty South. Talk about the quintessential stud muffin himself, Sammy Synister. Good to see you again, buddy.
How you doing?
Doing good. Been working hard or hardly working, either one, but pretty busy week. What about yourself?
Same. I fucked up my shoulder again. Oh God, funny story real quick before we start here.
Lifting kegs?
So what's that?
Lifting kegs?
Yeah, ham hocks. Anyway. And everyone is confused. Anyway, a couple weeks ago, I was leaving work. And I was like, hey, my shoulder hurts a little bit. And I woke up in the morning like, hey, I can't move my shoulder. Maybe I should go to the doctor that I don't like going to. So I went to the doctor, and I was like, hey, my shoulder hurts. He's like, okay, anything else? Like, yeah, I messed up my ankle. It still hurts a little bit, and my back still hurts from, about 10 years ago. He goes, okay. How long ago did you hurt your ankle? I don't know, like 3 months. He's like, it still hurts? Yeah. Did some range of motion on my shoulder, and he's like, we need to take some x-rays. I took some x-rays and some stuff and some tests and came back. He was like, shit you not. I was like, are you in an underground fight club? I'm like, why? Why even? It's like, because your ligaments in your ankle are fucked and they're getting worse because you're walking on them. The knot in your back is becoming a literal knot of muscles because you're not taking care of it. And your rotator cuff is extraordinarily framed and is on the verge of busting. You have to get surgery for all three. My reply was, thank you, doctor. I've got to go to work now. He's like, no, you don't understand. You need to go home and rest for at least a week. I was like, yeah, I'll get right on that. And went directly into work.
See, that's what I love about getting old. You get hurt doing nothing now.
Yeah, I'm just old. Like, I just woke up one day and I was like, ow, my shoulder hurts. And I got hurt because I was being a person.
Oh, and speaking of being hurt, man, Best in the World 2016, dude, some parts of that pay-per-view for me were painful to sit through.
Yeah.
Looking at it, Ring of Honor, of course, we asked the question, win, loss, or tie. So, Sammy, what did you give it? The Internet Infantry over here in the comment section, please tell me what you gave it. So, Sammy, you go first. What did you give it, win, loss, or tie?
I'm going to give it the weakest of wins. Very, very weak win. We'll get into more of the particulars. Why? Here off at the start, I guess I'll go ahead. Well, no, we'll save that to the end. Like, my biggest problem with ROH as it's going right now. Mm-hmm. In general, is what you expect from ROH. Some great wrestling, some great matches, some fantastic spots. A couple things killed. There was some not so great matches. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Chuff, you flopped this too. The crowd didn't give a shit. The crowd didn't give a damn.
I think that was just your typical ROH crowd. They were just there. They were happy. They enjoyed what they saw.
Well, I'll get more into like some problems I had with the crowd later on. But that kind of killed it for me too. And I don't know. You got all these great things happening in ROH right now. And there is genuinely no reason to watch this pay-per-view. Nothing happened. And there were no storylines, except for one. And that was the biggest problem. But the wrestling was still really good, and for that, I'll give it a weak win. What about you, Booms?
I'm going to give it a strong tie.
Ooh, okay.
So we're about the same place. I just thought the pay-per-view was all over the place.
It was.
From a booking standpoint. Now, from like a wrestling standpoint, I would compare it to like New Japan's Dominion pay-per-view, the one that they just recently did. It's like it was like the same thing. I didn't necessarily have a problem with any of the matches and the way they were executed. I just felt like it's like some of the stuff, like I questioned some of the endings. I questioned some of the booking decisions, like the actual event itself. Like if a space alien came down and said, "What is this professional wrestling you guys keep talking about that I keep picking up your signals from outer space?" I was like, well, sit down and watch this, pay-per-view. And they really didn't know that much about Ring of Honor. And they sat down and go, oh, actually, okay, this is what this wrestling thing's about that you keep talking about. I think you could take a non-Ring of Honor fan and go, yeah, this is Ring of Honor here. And
Yeah.
I think they would still enjoy it now. But from someone who watches the product, who's into it now, and is really getting it, is really into it, you're just kind of like scratching your head. You're like, well, why did they do? Well, how come they didn't? Why were they? Huh? That's kind of what.
I 100% agree. Like I 100% agree. And I was going to kind of save it to the end, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and do it up front here. People want to hate on other products, specifically WWE and TNA and stuff. I'm like, oh, the writing's bad, the booking's bad. If someone's like, oh, I'm a huge ROH fan, and WWE puts on bad stories, you are talking out of both sides of your mouth, because the booking and the storytelling in ROH is so bad it's non-existent. It makes no goddamn sense what they do over there. To the point that there is no story for the most part. There's no fucking story. And the booking is just fucking horrible. There was one good booking decision in this match to me, in this pay-per-view, which people are like, oh, you hated it. Like, no, because every match had some great, fantastic work, and they put on a good wrestling matches. But the booking was awful. So if you're going to shit on WWE for their writing style, then be a ROH fan, you really need to stop and take a look at the product, because I think you might be looking at it through rose-colored glasses, because there's some huge problems in ROH. And I'm an ROH fan, so let's keep that in mind.
All right, let's bring it down here. The first match we saw here was Kyle O'Reilly taking on Kamaitachi. And, of course, Kamaitachi, a former young lion over at New Japan. Apparently, he was another – I knew they were bringing over Jay White, but I didn't know about Kamaitachi. But they brought him over. And the picture they used for him for the promos was an old one, because when he comes out like this full head of, like, when I say red, I mean like Ava Marie red hair.
Yeah, like fucking blood-ass red hair.
Like a raspberry shit on him. I mean, it was just like red. And was taking on Kyle O'Reilly, and of course, I'm a big Kyle O'Reilly fan. Now, going into it, I think there's no way Kyle O'Reilly's going to lose, because he's the number one contender. He's going to face whoever wins the Ring of Honor World Championship. But it actually, I guess maybe because I didn't have any expectations. It's when you don't have any expectations, they can easily be exceeded. But yeah. I think it was a fun match. It was a good match. It was a lot of psychology. There was actually put me in doubt. I was thinking, whoa, Kamaitachi, this guy might actually pull off the upset here. They went after the knee. They kept going after the arm, but eventually Kyle O'Reilly wins with a
brainbuster, right?
Yeah, brainbuster, but into a cross arm breaker, or excuse me, not a Kimura, a fucking armbar. Why the fuck did it take me goddamn forever to remember goddamn armbar? But locked in an armbar, wins the match. He extends his hand to shake it. Kamaitachi spits in his hand and then leaves the ring. So I was like, okay, that was a good opener. I was like, all right, you get to hype up. Okay, here's this new guy from Japan that's brought in. We're going to see what's happening with him. I can't wait to see how they flesh out his character. You got Kyle O'Reilly. He's going to be the new number. He's going to be waiting now for whoever wins the main event. And I was like, okay, this is, I didn't have much expectations, but yet, it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
It was a great match. There was some really good work. I could nitpick it a little bit. Kamaitachi's got to work on his forearms a little bit. At least in the beginning, he wasn't quite laying them in very well. I'm not the biggest Kyle O'Reilly fan. It's just, I think he's fantastic. I would watch him wrestle a chair. There's just something about him that doesn't quite grip me. But the kid's fucking phenomenal. So the work here was great. He does that bounce back infinitely better than Dean Ambrose does. And because he's the champ right now, I'm going to take any chance I can to shit on Dean Ambrose, because I cannot stand Dean Ambrose. Anyway, did it infinitely better than him. His chain wrestling is good. The match was fantastic. If you're the number one contender if we watch ROH like we should, if you're the number one contender for the most important belt in the world to these people, okay, why are you jerking the curtain with a young boy from Japan? Why? That makes no sense. There was no threat to him. Everyone knew he was going to win this match. Even though, I agree with you, there's points I'm like, you might get the upset. There was no threat to him in this match. And even if he does lose, let's theoretically say that Kyle O'Reilly does lose. He's still the #1 contender. That's going to happen a lot through this. A lot. But in all, like if I had to grade this match alone, I'd give it an A-. It was a very good match.
Next, we have ACH versus Silas Young. Of course, this was a battle over respect. Silas Young thought that ACH was acting too childish. ACH is like, hey, as long as you're taking care of the business, you be you. I'm comfortable enough to be me. What's your problem? Maybe you've got an issue. It started out, I thought it turned into like a Silas Young punched ACH right off the bat. They went back and forth. Silas Young took the control. However, ACH hit Silas Young with an Air Jordan, hit a brainbuster, then followed up with a Midnight Star, gets the pin, gets the win. And congratulations, Silas Young. You have now entered Bray Wyatt territory.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I hate to say this because I kind of want to like him because I really, really like his gimmick of the real last man.
Mm-hmm.
But I have two brains of thought, and I want you to go with which one you think is more correct. Is it that he's just wrestling the wrong people and he needs to wrestle a more chain wrestling, grappling kind of a foe and doesn't really need to go after a high flyer like ACH? Or is Silas Young just not that good?
Silas has not been the same since his knee injury.
When was his knee injury?
He had his knee injury about 2 or 3 years ago. Like, he had some great matches against Kevin Steen, like when Kevin Steen was leaving. Even before that, he had some great matches. But ever since that knee injury, I don't know if it's like a psychological thing, but just to me, it's just like he's not been the same person. They've just kind of used him as like it's kind of like he's kind of like I guess he's like the gatekeeper or like kind of like the Bob Holly of Ring of Honor. If they're going to if they're thinking about moving someone up a little bit higher in the mid card, they put him up against Silas. And
That's a completely respectable position.
Yeah, and Silas,
Randy Orton is always kind of the guy before the guy.
But while Silas has won some matches, he has not really won a feud. I mean, he lost his feud. He's lost his feud against ACH. He's lost his feud against Dalton Castle.
That match was really good. Their match without honor, that was fantastic. But I think that was more Dalton Castle. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
and plus it looks even worse on Young because I would say he dominated a good 85 to 90% of the match.
Yeah.
And lost.
Easily. This match had some big problems. And the biggest, the psychology wasn't there. And I think a lot of the psychology, because Silas Young knows the psychology. I've seen him wrestle enough. He knows how to do a match. ACH is fantastically talented. I don't think he knows a goddamn thing about doing a match. And that, I'm kind of quarterback booking here, armchair booking. So bear with me, guys. I like ACH. I don't think he knows anything about psychology. I think he really needs to sit down with somebody, take some time off, or get into a good feud, or continue this feud with Silas. Keep working on it, and have Silas show him, this is how you're going to shine up your baby face. This is how you're going to put heat on your heel. This is how you're going to do it. You don't do that spot here. That's silly. Save it for here. Because I think Silas Young's good enough to be able to do that. And it's completely... I always hate when people are like, oh, the mid-card, you've got to get a top card. No. It's perfectly acceptable in the mid-card. And it's perfectly acceptable to be the guy that you go up against to become the next tier talent. I have no problem. I think that's a great place for some wrestlers to be. And I think it's got to hold a lot of honor because they obviously trust you to do it. But, ACH is great. He does a lot of flippy-do stuff, and he's super talented. He had a couple moves that I loved, but he's got to work on his psychology a little bit.
All right. Next, we go to this is a match about respect. We had Roderick Strong in his second to last Ring of Honor match taking on Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe shaved his head before the match. That was a surprise for everyone. I guess that was the big surprise there because he's no longer going with the caveman look. I was actually kind of entertained by it. I mean, the whole crowd know that Roderick Strong's on his way out, so they chanted, "Thank you, Roddy." They went at it. I like that spot where they were trying to suplex each other, and they just kept going back and forth, They went to the outside. I like the exploder suplex in there. I like the double knee gut buster, the Gibson driver. Then there was the stronghold, they exchanged strongholds eventually, but Mark escaped out of it. He took him to the outside with a Cactus Jack elbow.
It looks like it hurts so bad.
They were trading blows. What really impressed me was the fact that when Strong hit that sick kick and got a near fall, I thought, oh shit, they're about, it's like, wow, there you go. I thought, shit, this match is over because he hit the sick kick, but eventually he hit the sick kick and the brainbuster for a 2 count. But Mark Briscoe finished up with a fisherman buster, got the win. They shook hands. Everybody said, thank you, Roddy. And some people were critical of this because, they said, well, maybe it's like a slap in the face because they're sending Mr. RH out on a loss.
You do the honors for people. That's what you do in pro wrestling.
Exactly. It's like, what I'm thinking is like, dude, sometimes it's better to go out on your back. You want to get people over. And I did overall enjoy the match.
This was probably my favorite match of the night. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. But I'm going to say this again. Y'all are going to hear me say this a lot. Probably hear me say this a lot about ROH in general. Match was great. Work was great. Both guys had great psychology, some great Sean spots, this, that, and another. Why are they wrestling? This is a pay-per-view. Yeah, we fucking shit on WWE because on Raw people are just wrestling. But fucking at least on a pay-per-view, we have a story going into it of why these two people are wrestling. Most of the time.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, he's disrespected it.
The story
that literally seems like they came up with 15
Yeah, they disrespected him, that Mark was the inferior Briscoe.
Yeah, but that seems like something they literally came up with 15 minutes before the pay-per-view started. Like, oh shit, why are they going to wrestle? Fucking, what do you got? Oh, he disrespected him. All right, that's what we're going to go with. There was no reason for these two guys to be wrestling. But it was a great match. Made no fucking sense.
Yeah. Next, we go to 6-man action. You had the Bullet Club that consisted of the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, with Adam Cole teaming up to take on Moose and War Machine.
War Moose?
Yeah, War Moose or Moose Machine or however you want. We're going to have fun with that one all night. I did like the fact that they brought out Matt Taven to do color commentary on this.
What the fuck is he? Is he the guy that was in the Kingdom?
Yeah, he was one of the key. Actually, he was the Ring of Honor television champion with Truth Martini. Then he fired him, and then Truth Martini threw a fireball in his face to get revenge on him. He came back. He was part of the Kingdom with Adam Cole, and now he completely destroyed his knee, and he's almost completely rehabbed and ready to come back.
Okay, fair.
So I just don't see the point of this match. There was just, okay, here's the Bullet Club. Let's just throw some 3 guys against them. I never thought the Bullet Club was in jeopardy of losing this match. Yeah,
never once.
They had some entertaining spots. The typical, Young Buck fare. But it was just, I was like, why is Bullet Club not interjecting themselves in the main event scene? Because, hell, even before the show even starts, like, Bullet Club's like, oh, no, we're not going to get involved. They're like, oh, yeah, they're going to get involved because they just said they weren't. And, no, they did what they said they were going to do. Here's
my biggest problem with the Bullet Club in ROH. They don't treat the Bullet Club logo serious, and that drives me up the wall. Like, I understand the Bullet Club's been always a little bit goofy, but in Japan, they were a threat. If Bullet Club was there was a problem, and they were going to cause hell. And I think a lot of it's the Young Bucks' problem. I love the Young Bucks. They're super fucking talented, but it's just, I don't like goofy wrestling. It's not for me. To me, you need to be treating the Bullet Club like early NWO, and they are a threat. Yeah, they're going to bring down ROH.
Why are they not raising hell for everything? Why isn't why are they not a thorn in the side of every title holder? Why are they not a thorn in the side of every top guy? Why are they just kind of, okay, we're just going to kind of do what we're told. We're just going to go in here and wrestle the 6-man match. It was like,
you're going to bring arguably one of the biggest names in ROH, if not the biggest name in ROH, Adam Cole, into the Bullet Club. And then you're not going to interject him into the main event fair after they interrupted the main event title? Like, you're not going to put him into the title picture. No, throwaway versus War Machine and Moose. That's what we're going. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. This is the problem with the whole damn pay-per-view. There was no reason for this match to exist. And I love the Bullet Club, and I like War Machine, and I think I like Moose. I haven't decided yet. But this match made no fucking sense. Why? Whatever. Fuck you, Delirious.
It was fun. The Bullet Club won with a Meltzer driver. Then we go to the fifth match, which is for the World Tag Team Championships. You had the Addiction taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. And it was good. It was good. Then they shit the bed.
How so?
Well, I mean, it was a good, for one, okay, here's a problem. Everybody had a similar look. Everybody was wearing fucking black.
Yeah.
Black and white. That's all everybody was wearing. Okay, but move that aside. They hit, I like the tandem power bomb. I liked the Addiction working over Alex Shelley. I like the Asai moonsault. I mean, there was a lot of good, just aerial stuff in there. And then just out of nowhere, Kamaitachi, guy from the first match,
Yeah.
he comes down. And Jay White, he's been watching the whole show at ringside. They're like, hey, it's Jay White. He's a former, young lion at New Japan. He's here at Ring of Honor now. He's been watching the show. He's been sitting ringside. So Kamaitachi comes out there, yanks Jay White over the security railing, and they start brawling.
That made no fucking sense.
Wait. This gave the Addiction to hit the best Meltzer ever for the win. Basically they hit the Young Bucks hit the Meltzer driver. Well, the Addiction did their own version of that the very next match. They get the win over the Motor City Machine Guns, and then it's kind of revealed that Kamaitachi and the Addiction were cahoots, and this was just some kind of big distraction.
Oh, fucking stupid.
And I was like, dude, this is fucking stupid. This is like the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever seen. I was just completely blown away. I was just like, this is so fucking idiotic. It makes no sense. Why, and then I was like, well, you got to give it time. You got to let him explain why. And I'm like, really? I don't know if you can sit down and have story time with old man Daniels in the ring to bring this one full circle here. This was just, it was. If just,
you built up like, dumb. They're both coming in from New Japan. There was a tournament in New Japan. Maybe fucking Jay White went over. Oh, Kamaitachi was being a good sport about it. No, he's not being a good sport anymore. There was no reason for this. Oh, so fucking stupid. Here's another problem I have in this match. They weren't a good wrestling match. There was a lot of holds. They worked a body part. They did this, that, and another. And here's what fucking pisses me off about ROH crowds. If it's not some crazy spot, they are not going to react. They're just going to sit on their hands and go, meh, whatever. And that pisses me off. You have to do some like death-defying spot for a lot of live ROH fans to give a damn. And that annoys me. If someone kicks out of a fucking, shit on other promotions, but come on, if someone does some awesome chain wrestling, fucking cheer. If someone does something, fucking cheer. They worked a good-ass match, told a good-ass story until they completely shit the bed, which again wasn't their fault. They put on a good match. But, goddamn, so stupid. Fuck.
All right. Next, then we have, in my opinion, this was match of the night. Steve Corino versus B.J. Whitmer in an unsanctioned fight without honor. This just the build up, the pageantry. Okay, Corino comes out to his old intro music, back when he was part of Scum. He, comes out, and he's wearing white. And when I see him wearing white, to me, I was like, oh shit, I know what he's getting ready to do. Because one of the tricks you do in wrestling is if there's going to be some blood or is there expected to be some blood or a lot of bleed, you wear white.
Yeah, that was smart.
It looks more dramatic because it looks more dramatic.
Yeah.
You don't have to bust the Muda scale to get the reaction you're looking for, because the blood, like if you wear like a black or a blue or any kind of or red or any kind of dark color, the blood just kind of at some points it'll blend in. But if you're wearing white, it all just pops.
Yeah.
When I see him wearing white, I'm like, oh shit! And then he takes off his toboggan and he's got his hair dyed blonde. I'm like, old school Steve Corino. Holy shit! Here we go. And then out comes BJ Whitmer, and son of a bitch, he's wearing white. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. And Corino gets a tooth knocked out like almost immediately.
Almost immediately.
These two just beat the crap out of each other. I like the spot where the exploder suplex went through the table and it didn't break, and then so just Whitmer set his ass up and just went right through it and did the spot again. I like
a lot of weight for this match.
Yeah, the ankle, in the chair, that chair shot there. I also liked it when Corino grabbed the beer bottle, shattered it over Whitmer's head, then took the broken end and just gouged out his fucking forehead with that.
Yeah.
Crowd was just going insane. Then Whitmer but Corino got a hold of the doctor's bag, the ringside doctor's bag, and pulled out rubbing alcohol, poured it all in Whitmer's cuts. That got some ECW chants. He took off his boot, took off his sock, and put some nickels in there. But Whitmer hit him with a roll of quarters instead. They got fired up. Both men just were trading shots. Then the lights go out.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
But it kind of paid off because the lights come back on and it's Kevin Sullivan standing in the ring.
Yeah. Maybe because I've been on ROH for a long time, what was the significance of him being there?
Just Kevin Sullivan, man. He's the most evil fucking man in professional wrestling ever.
Okay, fair.
And he hits Corino with the golden spike. This allows Whitmer to hit the exploder suplex and gets the win. This was just like, this can't be over. This just cannot be over.
There's no way this was the blow off.
This cannot be over. And in fact, even Kevin Kelly said, I don't think this is over. But I think that was match of the night, even though I don't like how it ended. Here's the thing, though, that kind of scares me. This was pretty bloody. And it only has to escalate from here. Where do you go from here?
That's a good question. I think if they do it again, they needed more professional wrestling before, because it's like this match started and they went directly to like classic ECW extreme shit, which has a place. I'm not the biggest fan, but it has a place. And it worked here. If they're going to do this again, they really got to build up and not season it with more wrestling. It needs to be a wrestling steak and then over season the fuck out of it with some extreme shit.
Then we get to the main events here. We got the two remaining titles on the line. First, we have Bobby Fish defending the Ring of Honor World Television Championship against Dalton Castle with a bevy of boys.
Can I pause right there and just gush for just a second? I'm just gonna gush, okay? Just gush.
Okay, go
I fucking love Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle is the reason I'm watching ROH again. If you don't like Dalton Castle, well then fuck you. Sorry, he is the best thing going in ROH right now. He's one of their best wrestlers. Check. He knows ring psychology. Check. He has a character and can do actual good promos. Check and check. He is the best thing on their roster. By far.
Yeah, Castle was one of the guys when he first started. I just didn't get it. I just didn't get his gimmick. But after Honor Rising back in February, that's when I was like, okay, he's won me over.
Man, I did the exact opposite. I saw Dalton Castle wrestle one match and do one promo, and I was like, oh, I fucking love this guy. I got it.
He had to grow on me, but I did. But he did grow on me, and I kind of liked the match. But I was like, okay, are they going to do the quick change here? Is Bobby Fish a transitional champion? Are they going to do it? What are they doing here? And I think it was a pretty good match.
It was a good match. It was a damn good match.
Castle has actually got some. I mean, he's got a lot of strength for a little guy. I mean,
dude, he's super strong.
Yeah, that deadlift, the gut wrench suplex, the delayed German suplex that he does. Fish, he started attacking Castle's leg with the dragon screw. He got him back to the ring. Anyway, There was the suplex into the where he just chunked him into the ring post.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Fish, it actually looked like Dalton Castle was going to win with the Bangarang, but Fish rolled through and got a pin and just rolled him up and got a pin right there, and they retained. And I think it was a good match for what it was, but I just don't think there was that big enough build up, and there was really no reason for these two to fight. I mean, they didn't have a problem with each other.
Exactly. Like, okay, if you've got two philosophies in wrestling, you can go the Japan route, or you can go your classic WWE route. If you're going to build it up like, I want to beat you because I want to be the best in the world. I want to beat you, and this is the Japan route. I want to beat you because I want to be the best wrestler that has ever held that belt, and I think I would be a better wrestler than you holding that belt. That's awesome. Or if you want to do like I want to beat you because I've got an issue with you. We've got beef, and I need to fix whatever's wrong with you. They didn't really have either of that going in that match. This match
which is fine. You can have like an athletic contest. You can just be like, okay, you've worked your way up here. I'm the champion. You've worked your way up to the number one contendership. Okay, let's have a match.
Yeah, and to me, it was really clear that the crowd, and not just me, the crowd and everybody else really wanted Dalton Castle to win this. Dalton Castle should have a strap soon.
I think that's what they're building to. I think they're going to do that. I mean, you got Death Before Dishonor coming up in August, and then you've got some more stuff coming up later on the year. I think, Fact or Fiction. I haven't done this game in a while. Fact or Fiction, Dalton Castle will capture that television title before the end of 2016.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're going to go Fact. Okay.
It's just, it helps his character so much. He's already a peacock. And you add this super obnoxious strap of gold for him to wear around his waist, and for the bevy of boys to come suggestively take it off of him, it's perfect. It's his and he's all into his gimmick. And anybody that does that, I am a fan of. Cody Rhodes wasn't a huge fan of Stardust, but he was in 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Castle was 100% into Dalton Castle. And I fucking love it. He is my favorite thing on ROH right now.
Then next we get to, this was actually a segment. This was the most painful fucking segment of the night. You had this patriotic music play. Then you had Rhett Titus and Kenny King in the All Night Express. They come out.
Shit, I walked away.
And then they introduced Caprice Coleman as like their Minister of Information, and they're basically bitching. It's like, hey, we were the world, we were the tag team champions. We were stripped of them. We were never beaten. And they started, hey, you want. When's the last time you saw a pro wrestler actually look like a pro wrestler? They would put a headlock on high spots. They're going through the whole thing of Donald Trump, make America great again, make professional wrestling great again. Whatever. I don't care, but that's their thing. I just think that this was, if you were going to do this needed to be on a Ring of Honor television show.
Yeah.
Not the fucking pay-per-view. And it did not need to go as long as it did. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sammy, but please correct me if I fucked up somewhere or I missed something here. But wasn't once upon a time Prince Nana and Caprice Coleman trying to do something together here? And there were talks where they tried to put back together the embassy, and then they just kind of fizzled out. I mean, is there something that I missed somewhere?
Well, fucking Prince Nana was with BJ Whitmer, wasn't he?
No.
I could have swore he was with BJ Whitmer.
It was
they had fucking attacked Truth Martini.
No, that was Donovan Dijak.
Oh.
Because he's with Dijak now.
Inconsistency. Get your shit together, ROH.
Because it looked like he was about to reassemble the embassy, because he had Caprice Coleman, Will Ferrara, and Donovan Dijak. Well, it looks like he's just with Dijak now, because Ferrara, I thought they were going to put him in there, and that, for whatever reason,
makes no fucking sense.
It was like, okay, no, I'm not.
Yeah, this is like
Caprice Coleman. It was like he came out with them. He was getting, and then no, he's not. I was like, am I missing something somewhere? No, seriously, I'm asking you.
No,
I missed something.
Because I don't know, man. There are so many inconsistent booking decisions made in ROH that they have desperately got to get 2, maybe 3 guys in there to go in and go, we're gonna write the stories, y'all do the wrestling. And because it's fucking is a monstrosity right now. It's bad. It's real bad. And this segment was an abortion. It was painful to sit through. Painful.
God,
To the point I got up and went and made a sandwich.
It took forever.
It went on fucking 10 minutes too long.
All right, and then then we get to the main event, the rematch, 1 year in the making, because
we're out of fucking ideas.
It's just like, dude, look at the way your last fucking show ended.
Yeah, and you're not gonna.
This is what you're going with. I'm not necessarily opposing this idea, but this is about 6 months too late.
Yeah,
actually, about 9 months too late.
You
had Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe, and see, here's the funny thing about this. Like when I was watching this, it was Sunday. I had time on Sunday to watch this, and
I watched it yesterday.
I work overnights on the weekends, so I'm literally up all night, and then I get home and I start watching this, and I've had to watch this thing like I watched a little bit, I had to take a nap, and came back, started watching it again, and finally we get towards the end. I was like, dude, I'm getting sleepy again. I don't know if I can sit through another 20-30 minute match, and then son of a bitch, it was over. It was like 13 minutes, and it was like, wait a minute. And in fact, I went back on the feed that I was watching it on to make sure it didn't skip anywhere, but it was like 12-13 minute match.
It was short.
And it was really short. No, don't get me wrong. They had some good spots. I think it
was a fantastic match, honestly.
It was a great match. I liked the flying elbows. I liked Jay Briscoe doing Jay Lethal's finishing maneuver. I thought, oh shit, they hadn't been convinced right then and there he was winning, because he hit lethal injection, then turned around and hit the Jay Driller. I was thinking, okay, that's a reverse of what happened last year, Best in the World, when Jay Lethal hit Jay Briscoe with his finishing maneuver, the Jay Driller, and then followed it up with the lethal injection. And I was like, okay, they're gonna flip this. Okay, they're gonna flip this around. But no, Lethal kicked out. Briscoe drug him to the top. They teased going to the outside, but Lethal just hit like this crusher from the top. Then he hit the lethal injection and got the win. And I'm like, okay, here we go. We're gonna have the Bullet Club come in, and no, just streamers, and they shook hands. And I was like, wait a minute, do you guys not watch your own fucking product? Because here's the thing. You just had Bullet Club add 2 new members.
Yeah.
You brought in the Gorillas of Destiny. You brought in Kenny Omega. You've got a full-scale fucking Bullet Club invasion. You've made it clear that they were fucking heel because the Young Bucks super kicked everybody. They super kicked Kevin Kelly. They super kicked Taylor Hendricks. They super kicked Mr. Wrestling 3. They super kicked their own dad. They super kicked the security guards. They super kicked the camera operator. They super kicked Jay Lethal. They super
literally everybody.
They super kicked. They blew up the goddamn super kick meter. And I'm like, okay, that means this is gonna be like NWO fucking style invasion. We're coming for everything. We're coming.
One of my favorite wrestling stories you can tell.
It's like, okay, here we go, and it's like, okay, we're gonna go with the rematch, Jay Briscoe versus Jay Lethal. What?
Oh, and by the way, it's going to end clean, and they're going to shake hands.
And it's like, okay, if you're turning Lethal face, I have no problem.
I'm completely cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
Don't keep lying to me that he's a heel, and everyone's jumping down my throat like, oh, it's a fantastic heel. Heels don't shake hands after matches. They rub it in your face. They give you shit the entire time, and whatever shit they made you suffer through before the match, they do so after the match. Jay Lethal is a bad heel.
Well, he is.
He's a fantastic
wrestler. They're in the process of turning him face, which
is cool, but fucking just do it.
But here's another thing. Okay, if you look at the last pay-per-view, okay, for one, shouldn't Colt Cabana have a rematch? Because
yes,
he got
he's part-time. Like business-wise, he's part-time. But yes, he does have a rematch.
Like just by logic, let's just pretend this is actually real.
Okay.
Let's pretend this is real. If we go by the law, the laws of wrestling here, kind of like the laws of physics, but it's the laws of wrestling. Colt Cabana has a rematch coming because he got his match interrupted. He was arguably within inches of winning the championship, and he got interrupted by the Bullet Club. And then what's been done to fight the Bullet Club? They gave this fucking lame ass excuse during the 6-man. Well, I was going to, but, and this is from Nigel. Nigel McGinnis was like, well, I was going to, but the roster said, no, don't suspend them because they got a receipt coming. Okay, yeah, I like that. Here we go. And plus, they sell a lot of merchandise. Okay, you took it too far. You took it too far, Nigel.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said that second part because, okay, if you sell more T-shirts than anybody else, then you can kind of skirt up the rules. No, fuck you. No.
Yeah, that's bringing in some weird kayfabe bullshit. It's
but
not.
I do like the whole explanation. No, the roster begged me. People kept coming and said, "Don't suspend him. Don't do anything." They got a receipt coming.
Yeah, cool. Because that does the ROH versus Bullet Club, which I have been begging for. I have been begging for a Bullet Club versus ROH, a Bullet Club versus New Japan, a Bullet Club versus Los Ingobernables. Because that is my favorite story that you can tell in a wrestling ring.
Okay, and then also, let's just say, why isn't Jay Lethal completely just pissed the fuck off at Bullet Club? Why the fuck is he just not, wanting to go?
Yeah, we're just going to ignore the fact that fucking you got super kicked at least like 4 or 5 times.
And zip tied to the fucking ring and embarrassed?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how come Bullet Club's not interfering? How come they're not going in there and issuing a challenge? How come
they did say that at some point in time in the night they were like, if they do interfere, they'll be fined like $6,000 and will be like suspended for so many days if they interrupt. That was said. You know what you do if you're the Bullet Club? Do it anyway. Fucking do it anyway and go, suspend us. Especially if you're going to do the whole, they sell a lot of merchandise. Don't suspend us. Watch all your merchandise sales drop. We're the fucking Bullet Club.
No, or better yet, be like, oh, you're going to fine us $6,000? We'll make that up in merchandise sales in one night.
Yeah, we'll go to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and do that in a fucking night.
You could do that. And then...
You could have done something here.
But instead, they opted to go with the Brisco Lethal rematch, and just, it was a good match, but I just don't understand. I don't understand.
It's piss poor booking decisions.
I gotta agree, man. It was just a bad booking decision. I know when the word got out that some people started questioning Delirious's booking. I really felt like unfairly a lot of people just started dogpiling on just for the sake of dogpiling on. But I'm not saying those arguments aren't without merit. And I think tonight was Best in the World was just case in point.
No, I agree.
I just feel like the Bullet Club is your hot angle now. They reinvented themselves to make themselves relevant again.
Bullet Club might be the hottest thing in professional wrestling right now. And you're just gonna fucking... I don't get it. I don't get it. You got so much money sitting on those guys in a main event match with a strap on Adam Cole being the leader. And I know they did an interview and they're like, there is no leader of the Bullet Club. We all just kind of do. Go fuck yourself. Adam Cole is and should be the
USA branch.
Yeah, he should be the leader of the Bullet Club and let Kenny Omega be the leader of the Bullet Club in Japan. Mainly because I'm not a huge Kenny Omega fan and I really like Adam Page. But yeah, have it fucking do it. Go all the deep. Be like, we're the Bullet Club US Embassy. And fucking have US and have the Japanese guy be like, we're Bullet Club OG. And you know what? We're tired in Japan. We want to take over Ring of Honor now. We want this to be the Bullet Club promotion. And then have everyone in ROH go, fuck, you can't do that shit. We're Ring of fucking Honor. I joined Ring of Honor, not the Bullet Club. Because I love that story, and it's an easy story to tell. And it's a good way to get your fans invested. And it's a good way to build up some good tension and some good heat between talents. And you got a fucking heat. You got a belt on the nasty, awful bad guy and that damn dirty heel. He is cheating to win, but he's still got the belt, and no one can beat him, and here comes up through the Ring of Honor ranks. Here's your guy that's going to plant the flag and go, we're Ring of Honor, and that belt belongs to us. And he's going to fight through the ranks, and he's going to go through the mud, and he's going to get the belt back.
If I'm booking it, here's what I'm doing. Adam Cole will be my lead heel.
Absolutely.
I would have him go after the Ring of Honor title, and absolutely. I would have he's always flanked by the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks would basically be his protection.
Yeah, that's his fucking bodyguards.
It would be the point to where nobody could really get their hands on Adam Cole because there's the Young Bucks ready to meet him with a super kick.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing that he can always squirm out of everything. You can't really get your hands on because there's the damn Young Bucks. If you're going to keep the Guerrillas of Destiny over there, I'd make them tag team champs.
I don't know how often they're going to be in Ring of Honor, but if they were going to be there for an extended amount of time, at one point in time, it's always good if you're going to do the story that I'm trying to tell. It's good for your heel faction to have almost all of, if not all of, the gold.
Yeah. And then I would take a gamble here, and I would have, I'm not saying win it, but I would have Adam Page make a run at the television championship.
Yeah. Everyone, and here's the two guys. Here's your two Ring of Honor guys that go, we're Ring of Honor. That's the brand we are. I'm standing up for my fans, my people, my fellow wrestlers, the promotion, the cameramen, everyone that has ever been involved with the promotion. I'm standing up for them. Here's my battle standard. Your two guys that are going to do that are going to be Kyle O'Reilly and Dalton Castle. Those are your two guys that are going to be your generals. Because they're over the most. They've got all the talent. And the crowds would go wild if they managed to get the gold somehow. Go wild. And I don't know, again, I'm not the biggest Kyle O'Reilly fan. I think he's fantastic. He's kind of like Cesaro. He's the Ring of Honor Cesaro for me. He's got all the talent in the world, and I'll watch him every time he wrestles. I just don't have a lot invested in him. Mm-hmm. But you could build him as that underdog superhero with the story. And then you could have this.
It's time to create some new stars, man.
You gotta have some new stars. And I love Adam Cole. Adam Cole, I think, was.
I mean, that's what happened when they did the Ring of Honor versus CZW. I mean, you created new stars with that. I mean, you had Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe kind of take a backseat, but you saw like the rise of Homicide.
Mm-hmm. It's a great story to tell, and it's an invasion story, and it's easy to tell. It's an easy story to tell, and it might be that thing that takes Ring of Honor to just one more step up, which is where Ring of Honor needs to go. Ring of Honor's in a weird place right now. They've got a ton of TV, a ton of pay-per-view, a ton of views. They need one more step up. One more.
I just wish their television show was just a little bit better.
Their television show's
not in the sense,
wrestling's great. There's no reason to watch it though.
Yeah, not in the sense that it's like a bad TV show. It's just not keeping up with what's going on in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, it's like fucking 3 months behind. And they'll show you this happened yesterday in a house show in New Orleans. And then that's what your pay-per-view story is based off of.
Exactly. You're basing your pay-per-views off the stuff that the audience that your audience isn't seeing. It's like when Adam Page joined the Bullet Club. It's like, what the fuck? I found out about that online before I found out about. Hell, I don't think they ever addressed it. No, they did. They did address it, but you remember what they did when when Finn Balor lost the championship to Samoa Joe at that house show in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. That's how they handled Adam Page joining Bullet Club.
Yeah, it was bad. And then there was 3 weeks of fucking of review shows, or maybe 2 weeks. There were two or 3 weeks of.
Yeah, they had Bullet Club, they had a Bullet Club review show and a Jay Lethal review show.
And then the first show after after Best in the World was a Women of Honor show, which, from what I understand, is just for the worst. I've never watched it. Don't take my word for it, guys. I've just heard from many, many different people that Women of Honor is bad. So you've got to keep your TV consistent, because every time I watch Ring of Honor, I'm like, man, these are some great fucking matches. But there was legitimately no reason to watch the Ring of Honor TV. You could just watch the pay-per-views and be completely okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my complaints about it. Because I remember for a while I wasn't even watching Ring of Honor television. It was just watching the pay-per-views. It was
there's no reason.
They recap they do some recaps on the pay-per-views, so you kind of know what's going on, and you know nothing significant's going to happen afterwards until they get to the next pay-per-view. I thought things would change when they, got more widespread. When they first wound up on Destination America, then they wound up on Comet. But it just hasn't.
On Destination America. I watched them on a local access channel.
Well, that's the thing. They were on Destination America. They blindsided TNA with that announcement. They were going to run the shows back to back, and they didn't. Then Destination America said, we're getting out of the wrestling business. So they scattered them, and of course TNA went to pop, and
wrestling goes to die.
Yeah, yeah. And then Ring of Honor went to Comet, which is like a small channel. They run like old sci-fi and horror movies, and they'll also run like old sci-fi TV series, like Stargate, SG-1, stuff like that, The Outer Limits, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll run that, and then of course, if the station's owned by Sinclair Broadcasting,
I guess that's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you still live in Birmingham's. Yeah, Channel 21, the WB affiliate, and WABM My 68. That's a Sinclair affiliate.
Yep.
I know that because I interned there.
Oh, okay.
Yay! Booms is in television. The more you know. All right, let's do some questions, some comments, some concerns.
I can't stay up too much later.
Okay, let's see here. I'll be quick about it. Andy Papp says, me and you were the KocoSports Tag Team Champions. Rock on. He also liked the Roddy versus Mark Briscoe match. Ooh, Andy Papp brings up something here. I was pissed at Ring of Honor for allowing Kevin Sullivan on the pay-per-view the same day as the Chris Benoit anniversary. I don't think that really had anything to do with anything with the anniversary. I don't think Ring of Honor was trying to make any kind of statement.
No, and in fact, there's Jericho had a podcast with the sister-in-law of Chris Benoit talking about that whole thing, and which I recommend everyone go listen to. It's fantastic. It's pretty heartbreaking. For some reason, I couldn't put my name on Kevin Sullivan when he showed up that night, and it didn't click to me till just now who he was. Now I understand. I don't. Yeah, I understand getting upset about it, but I don't think it was at all intentional.
No, I don't think that was. I don't think it was anything more than what you saw on the surface. By the way, the countdown is on for Andy Paps because he's going to make his wrestling debut on July 10th.
Fuck yeah, man! If you get the video of it, you've got to show it to us.
And then he's going to make his in-ring debut on August the 19th. So TikTok, man. Actually, no. Let me check the calendar here. He will debut 2 weeks from Saturday.
Nice.
2 weeks from Saturday. Are you buff, Andy? You pumped up. You've been hitting the weights, been hitting the gym. You all ripped now. Got your collar pop, bro. You got your sunglasses on there, bro.
Bro, listen, bro. Hey, bro, it's just a Kyo mixer.
Mm-hmm. Got your solo cup there, bro.
Natty Light, bro.
With some Keystone.
Oh, God. Whoa, the memories.
Those are the fuzzy ones for me. You got to whack somebody with a fucking paddle. You've just got to.
You've got to.
Just right across.
Like the NWO is just spraying NWO on people. Just bend somebody through the second and third ropes and just fucking light their ass up.
And let's see. I'm trying to get to.
You've got to make a T-shirt that says "Bro Team."
You try to squeeze the word "bro" into every part of your sentence, like a bromance, a protege.
Oh, protege, bro. Listen, fucking Andy, bro. Listen to me. If you make whatever your faction is and you call it and it says like "Get Your Protein," I will buy one from you. I will fucking send you cash in the mail if you do that.
All right, try to get through something here. Just trying to get through questions here and not get into personal conversations. Actually, I don't think we've got that many questions. Did you watch Impact? No, I did not. I have no intention of doing such.
I have tried, guys, but I just can't do it.
I just don't have it in me. Larry Hammer says Kevin Sullivan was a what the fuck moment, but not in a good way.
It did come out of fucking nowhere.
I got to admit, this is from Larry Hammer. I got to admit, I like Moose taking the clean pin as a little shot for management on the way out the door.
Is he for sure leaving?
I don't think he's officially leaving. I think he had talked with WWE, but I don't think it's a done deal. In fact, I think if he'd signed, I think we'd know about it by now. I'm thinking he may stay. I'm thinking he may stay in Ring of Honor.
I agree.
Will you guys be doing a G1 Climax preview? Holy shit, dude. That's a fucking can of worms right there.
It's really hard for me to do the G1 because the only New Japan, I'll watch New Japan, but the only New Japan I get to watch is on Access, which is like fucking 8 months behind, if not a full year behind. So it's just, I would love to, but I couldn't be involved in a G1 preview show because it's more than I could do because I don't have the time to watch it and I'm so far behind. So far behind.
I actually watch New Japan because LK's got a subscription to New Japan World that I use every now and then.
Who does?
LK.
Okay.
I don't know. Ask him. Maybe he'll give you like the username and password and you can use it too. But I previewing it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not completely up to date because again, I do not speak Japanese except for maybe 2 or 3 words, and that is it. I've never really covered a G1 tournament.
Well, what we can maybe
do, but it's like it's 19 days.
It's so long.
It's an endurance trial.
What we might be able to do here, Bums, is have if LK and I know Dave's going through a lot right now, but LK and Dave can handle the G1, and maybe me and you can do the Cruiserweight Classic and do a preview show of it.
Yeah, we can definitely work some stuff off that. Thoughts on the G1 Climax 26 lineup with the additional Noah stars? That explains some of the people that I didn't know. That's from Muhammad Fayez Danielle. And he also asked about the thoughts on the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Battle of Los Angeles list so far. I haven't seen Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's list yet. I've seen both brackets for G1. I'm just kind of, I don't know where the hell they're going with this because if Naito wins it, what was the point? But if Okada wins it, who the hell is he going to choose? Is it going to be Naito again, and it better not be Tanahashi? I swear to God, if I have to watch another Okada versus Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, but their last 2 matches were really fucking good.
Yes, but they've done it for the last 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, 2
I don't know. Who the fuck would Okada choose? I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, Andy Pep says, listen, bro, we're going to bust someone's head open with a paddle, and the official name is Forever Our Brotherhood. I think we talked one show about taking out the R, so it's just Forever Brotherhood. He's going to run it by him, but I was just thinking Forever Our Brotherhood is just way too long. And
yeah.
Plus, if your acronym is FOB, I mean, you're setting yourself up for jokes. He's hitting the gym and drinking protein shakes and drinking Coronas. That sounds about right. He must be in Cancun because his dad owns a dealership. Hey, Wrestling Ranton joined us, man. He says KocoSports is still around. Yay! Yeah,
of course we are. Yay.
We're still around. Where the hell else will we go? Oh, by the way, if you haven't checked out Wrestling Ranton show, go check it out. He just did a new show. The most recent one he did was he covered it got signed. It's for next month in London. Will Ospreay is wrestling Vader.
Yeah.
And I just put on the comments on that video. I said, well, is the funeral services going to follow immediately? Because either A, Will Ospreay is going to get caught by Vader and he's going to get legit murdered, or Vader is going to have a fucking heart attack chasing Ospreay around the ring. So it's either way around,
I thought that was a joke at first. Like I thought it was just like some joke poster someone made until I looked around and went, "Oh shit, he's fucking this is real."
Yeah, it's actually real. He actually did a real good one there. And he said, wrestling potatoes all day, and I know what that means.
I do not.
Potatoes are like a stiff shot.
Oh yeah. He's gonna potato the shit out of each other.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, check out Wrestling Rant. Check out his channel. He's awesome. He's got like better budget special effects. I think he did I think he had a car chase in his last video.
We're low budget here, folks. I'm proud. And by that, I mean we're fucking broke.
Yes, pretty much. We're broke because, fuck it. We're all like, he works in retail. I work in news. LK's a student, so yeah, we're all like broke as fuck. In fact, if you could just send us money so we could eat, that would be great.
We would appreciate it.
All
Me
right.
and my lovely cat who's about to ninja up onto the screen.
Yes, attack.
Pepper. All right. Is that it, bro?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's wrap this up. The show just took an immediate fucking nosedive right in the damn dirt here. So I want everybody to check us out, KocoSports.com, KocoSports.net takes you to the same place. Also check us out at ProWrestling.me. Also, when you jump over there, ProWrestling.me, go to the forums. I'm holding a contest where we're trying to do a pick'em contest with the upcoming Raw draft. Here's how it works. You get 10 picks, 10 for Raw, 10 for SmackDown. You put who you think's going to line anywhere, who's going to wind up where. But here's the thing. If you pick an NXT star to go to a certain roster and you get it correct, the points double. You get 2 points for that correct pick instead of 1.
And if you win, you get a dry, in the eyes, like direct eye contact hand job from Boom Boom.
No, that's from Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay. There you go, Ray. We got you covered, bro.
Yeah, he got friend zoned.
Oh, was it the bitch from the fucking that you were working out with? I told you.
Yeah, you can't like say, yeah, it's like, oh, but she keeps talking to me about her problems and her boyfriend, and I'm like, dude, you just got fucking friend zoned so hard.
Friend zone, man. It happens to the best of us. Every guy has been friend zoned at least once in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, he keeps thinking he's going to be that dick in a glass jar, in case of emergency, break glass, but it ain't happening.
Nope, never does. Never does.
Never happens. So, best of luck next time, and best of luck to Andy Paps on his wrestling debut. I'm actually probably more anxious to see it than he is.
Yeah, you really got to hook us up with the video of that if you can, man. I'd love to see it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's going to do it for me. It's going to do it for Sammy. So subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And let's see. We just knocked out LK and myself just knocked out a news story. LK reviewed Monday Night Raw. He's going to come out with a TNA review. We're going to be reviewing NXT tomorrow. We're going to have a Lucha.
I will be doing Lucha Underground.
Yep. Sammy will be handling Lucha Underground. Maybe we can sneak in a SmackDown review. Then, of course, we'll start all over again on Monday. So, in the meantime, check us out, KocoSports.com, ProWrestling.me, and subscribe. And in the meantime, this is Boom Boom saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.